This video presentation is designed to prepare you for the final exam. The final is worth 100 points. It will consist of about 25 questions. You will be asked to provide a short answer to each question. The questions are taken from the summary of my lectures that I have posted for you on Edmodo alongside this video. If you read the summary of my lectures, you will have all the answers to the questions on the final exam. This video is not a substitute for reading the summary of my lectures, but it will review the important points. Journalism is finding out stuff and telling people. It consists of gathering, processing, and presenting information. This is telling or publishing. U.S. journalism has a commitment to fairness. It provides not just information, but information without intentional bias. It uses attribution, so you know where the information came from. Accuracy is important. You get not just facts, but correct and precise facts. The information you get is relevant. It is useful, important, or entertaining to its audience. And it is new, not just facts, but fresh facts. Before there even was a United States, there were newspapers in Britain's American colonies. The first one was Publick Occurrences in 1690. It had all the elements of U.S. journalism. It was fair. The editor offered to print corrections if he got something wrong. The news chosen was fresh and relevant. The editor invited eyewitness accounts. That's a form of attribution. The fourth page was left blank so that readers could add their own comments and news and pass it along, sort of like the comments on newspaper websites today. It was a good newspaper. Unfortunately, Publick Occurrences was shut down after only one issue because its publisher failed to get a license from the government. This is called prior restraint, when a government insists on censoring words before they are printed. It was 14 years before there was another try at publishing a newspaper in the American colonies. Even then, these papers towed the government line. This made them irrelevant and boring. One such paper was called libel-proof, censor-proof, and well-nigh reader-proof. What was the government afraid of? What governments always fear: criticism. The government at the time considered any criticism, even if true, to be a crime called libel. The trial of John Peter Zenger helped establish the rule that truth is a defense against a libel suit. His attorney convinced the jury that free people have the right to complain when they are mistreated by a bad government. As long as they speak the truth, a good government has nothing to fear, so there can be no damage and no libel. Bad governments just get what they deserve. In the Zenger trial, attorney Andrew Hamilton helped lay the foundation for the First Amendment to the U.S. Constitution. You should be able to list the 5 freedoms guaranteed by the First Amendment. Remember that the First Amendment protects you only from the government. Your employer can still fire you for something you say or write. The good news for young journalists is that new media is as protected by the First Amendment as old media. There is still such a thing as libel. Reporting on government actions or officials is usually safe because their actions and statements are important to the public. Besides, public figures are able to defend themselves, so they get less protection from the law. It is much more dangerous to invade the privacy of a private individual by reporting false information, especially if you are careless about whether what you report is true or false. Check the name of the person who got arrested twice. before you print it. Our news media are free to publish, but they can still be sued for what they publish. Because the cost of a successful libel suit can be staggering, journalists strive to exercise their freedom to publish in a responsible and ethical manner. There's another reason U.S. news media police themselves. Before the Revolutionary War won freedom from Britain, Benjamin Franklin discovered that he could publish an interesting newspaper in Philadelphia without getting government approval. Ben's paper, the Pennsylvania Gazette, became the most respected and profitable newspaper in the colonies. Benjamin Franklin made newspaper publishing a respectable profession by policing himself. This is freedom of the press, as it was understood before the First Amendment. The press was only free of prior restraint. It could still get into trouble if it offended the government. James Franklin, Ben's brother, went to prison for publishing his newspaper. U.S. journalism is effective journalism. There would be no need to study it if it wasn't. We saw how Thomas Paine helped America win its freedom from Britain, and how William Lloyd Garrison helped bring slavery to an end in the Civil War. What made journalists like them effective? They wrote common-sense articles in language everyone could understand. They got their message out to a mass audience. They helped their readers understand the world around them and what was important. They suggested what should be done about it. They established that what they wrote was reliable. They took a point of view that moved people to take action. You don't have to memorize all 7 elements of effective journalism I've listed here, but take a moment to read them. This is how you must do your job as a journalist.